Yeah.
We're on.
We're on. Welcome back to
Like Donkey Kong.
Full Block, Jackson Connelly.
Bro, I'm freaking stoked to have you on, G.
Yeah.
We actually have been talking about it for a long time. You're actually one of the first guests we had on our list of like people to have on.
People we needed to hit up to get on.
Proper's always said.
Yeah.
Like when this thing started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on the podcast. But it's never lined up, unfortunately.
As today, baby.
Today it's on.
Lined up today.
Yeah.
So, bro, where are we? Where are we at?
We're at my place in Lake Jindabyne
Yep.
in the snowy mountains of Australia.
You grown up here your whole life?
Yep. Born and raised.
Born and raised. Sick.
Josh said that you were like one of the first people to ride like the downhill track. The youngest person?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was the youngest for a while. I'm sure that record's been beaten now with the bikes that they have for the grommets now.
Mm.
But there was a period of time. Actually, to be fair, my brother beat me like
Oh.
the next year. My brother's 2 years younger than me,
Mm.
and he rode like the year after I rode.
Yeah.
It was so much rivalry. When my brother used to race, there was so much rivalry when we were younger. He was probably just as good as me, if not better, back in the day.
Really?
I'm talking when we were like, until we were like 11,
Yeah.
10 or 11, I think.
And you just took off.
I don't know. My brother, there was a bit there where he had a falling out with it and just didn't. He got hurt a couple times, like in bull at one time, landed on his head and did some internal stuff like in his liver and his spleen, I think, and I don't know, I think that turned him away from a bit, which is fair enough, dude.
Yeah.
You know how, like, you've had enough injuries yourself, you know, it's scary, and it takes years, like, from my injuries at least, I still feel like there's part of me that's still not
What injuries you had?
fixed. Well, I would like to say I was super, super good. I had no injuries growing up, like none. All my mates were getting hurt, like. But then when I hit under 19, dude, I just had a plague.
Yeah.
So like first year under 19s, dislocated my shoulder in Thredbo, just at a small race.
Yeah.
And then like they were like, yeah, no surgery, sweet. Got that better. In Tassie, landed on the back of my shoulders and like in like a crunch position.
Yeah.
And did a wedge fracture to my T8.
Oh damn.
I even raced. I don't know how I raced, but like it didn't hurt to ride or jump or anything, or to walk. It just hurt when I breathed. It was weird. Like when my chest expanded, like forwards and backwards, it would hurt my back. So I didn't even get it looked at till I got back home actually from Tassie.
Real?
Yeah. So that happened, and then that was good. A few more months off the bike, came back, and then actually not even riding, but I dislocated my shoulder again playing basketball, of all things. It just happened. Like, you can't, kind of, once you dislocate it once, it's pretty cooked.
And you already had the surgery?
No, then the second one was why I had the surgery, and it's been good since. But then I had the surgery, and then Pink Bike Year came around, and then Leo Gang, which I think was, I missed the first two World Cups of 22. Then I went overseas. And or maybe just the first World Cup, sorry, and then raced. I think Leo Gang was the third one that I would race, and then I cased the big wooden Red Bull drop and broke my wrist and my pelvis.
Oh my, hugie.
But then touch wood. Since then we've been pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you feel like you're coming. Because Josh said that you like dominated when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I
talk about that, bro, because you went through 13s, 15s, 17s. You nearly didn't even lose a race.
Yeah. I don't know. I had it when I was a kid. And I still like to think I still have it. But it's different now. Like,
why do you think that is? Why do you think you just had it?
I don't know. I was obsessed. Absolutely obsessed. Like one of the most competitive people in the world. Like, I always played rugby growing up. Like every sport. Skiing. Like, I was a competitive skier as well. Like, when I was real little. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm talking like when I was under 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just loved it. My dad used to race. I don't know. There's just something in me that liked it. But yeah, going back to what you said, when I was young, I just dominated. Thanks so much to my parents for taking me to every race and stuff. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of kids that wanted that opportunity. But yeah, I just raced. Didn't train. Like, for example, here living in the snowies, like in winter. Sometimes I literally wouldn't ride once the whole of winter. And I'd pick it back up for opening weekend at Thredbo.
And we
I
ride.
never had a trail bike. I just only rode downhill. I think that's also got to do with it.
Yeah.
Like really, like the best training for what you're doing is
riding.
what you're doing. Like for anything, whether you're a singer, whether you're a basketball player, I think obviously there's so much extra curricular stuff you can do, like specified movements to train, blah 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 blah. But I think the best training
Is
for anything is to actually do what you're training for. And I think I just rode flat out.
yeah.
Like if there was a swimming carnival at school, boom, no, Mum, I'm getting day off and going riding. Or
that's
like whatever. My parents always would, take me out of school to go racing. Dad drove me everywhere. Would knock off work on Thursday. Arvo would get in the car, drive, practice day, quality day, race day. After the race, boom, drive back. Even if it's like 14 hours. I don't know. My dad was just a legend back then.
Just
Not that he's not a legend now, but I'm kind of doing my own thing now.
Yeah.
I think Dad misses it a bit. Definitely, we've had some chats where he's like wanting.
to come back to race.
Especially like the pink bike year, for example, because I went from full privateer to like straight into like a big program like that, and Dad was there and he's like, oh, like didn't want to step on anyone's toes, but he's like, I want to help, I want to,
Yeah.
anyone want a coffee, anyone want this, you know,
Yeah.
because he's so used to like doing the whole thing, like with me with racing, and then all of a sudden I've got a mechanic, I've got a physio, I've got this, I've got that. It's like he felt a bit like.
Left out.
Not left out because he was still there, but it was hard for him a bit, I think, to like.
Yeah.
What do I do?
And how was the racing for pink bike? Like, talk about that.
That was sick. I made some sick friends. It was like that was my first year over. I missed my first year of juniors. A bit because of injury, but also it was the COVID year.
Yeah.
And I don't want to shit on all cycling because I think they've done a lot to try and start getting things.
Everyone says the same thing, dude. They're like, oh, we don't want to talk bad about on cycling.
Well, I think
But-
now, but to be fair though, now I'm like working a bit closer with them. Not insanely, like I'm not super close with them, but I do a little bit of promotion for them here and there, and I've chatted to Evan a bit, and I am close with them, so I do get what they're saying. It's hard. It is really hard for them to get shit sorted. But in saying that, like there's definitely been some times where I think there's been wrong calls and things that could have been done better, like scrapping the national series a few years ago. I don't want to touch on too much because I don't know the actual behind the scenes. But bro, if you want us to do well, we need
to race.
Domestic racing. How are we meant to progress?
Yeah. How can you even get to the international if you can't even race at home?
So it is getting better. Like we have a series now. With the Continental Series coming in this year as well.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. Shit. What was we talking about? What was I about to go back to?
Pink bike.
Yes. I missed first year of COVID, because of COVID.
Yeah.
All I needed was a letter from Oz Cycling to say that
you can go
to the Australian government so that I could go. But no, they were like, no, we can't. So only Ollie and Remy went over that year of juniors.
That's just because they had a contract.
Because they had a contract and they could say to the Australian government that it's their job.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't. So I missed my first year of juniors. Anyways, and then I went, pink bike year. It's insane. Like, felt like, holy shit, what is this? What is this life? From full privateer.
To full factory, pretty much.
Full factory. And it was weird for me too, because I'd like you said, I killed it when I was a junior. Not a junior, sorry, when I was like real young. I was killing it, struggling to get any support. It was mum and dad helping me. Yeah, I had some sponsors like Dobro helped me out a heap and whatnot. But it was hard to get that support. And then I came into these injuries that I was just explaining. And I'm literally in bed in this house with recovering from my shoulder surgery. And then, get the call and everything from Pink Bike and that they want me. And I'm just like, what is this world happening? Like, what is happening? I'm doing nothing right now. I haven't had a good result in a year and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
What is going on? So.
What sort of ran through your head, like getting all the injuries before you even knew you were on Pink Bike? Was there any part of you that was like, screw this, I'm off it, or you were just always determined?
No, I don't know. It was scary for me. Like I said, I'd never been injured before that, like, run of injuries. But again, it's just a learning curve, like, learning how to deal with it and whatnot. But yeah, it sucks. Like, especially with the COVID stuff, I got pretty down, I'd say, because I'm stuck in my house, can't see anyone, can't do anything. And like normally the way I cope with that is by riding.
Yeah.
I can't even do that.
Yeah.
So it sucked. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been the type of person that hasn't like delved too deep into anything.
What do you
In
mean?
terms of that, yeah, in terms of that, I'm kind of like always like, oh no, I'll be right. Like there's always an end in sight for
Yeah.
me. Like
Why? Like, why do you think you don't delve deep into it?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you.
Do you think it's because, like, if you think about it too much, it's gonna, like, worry you?
Well, I just think you just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like you're every day we go out riding, you could fall and break your neck and be paraplegic for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like that's the reality of it.
But you don't think like that because
But you just don't think. But you just don't think like that.
No.
Because if you did think like that, you wouldn't even be in this sport in the very first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, we try not to think like that. It's just you just don't.
Yeah.
If you do think like that, then you're not even here. So.
Yeah.
And I think when I was going through those injuries, it was always like, okay, what's the next thing? Oh, I can do a push up this week. Oh, I can do that. It's like
Building blocks.
you just learn to do that. Like it sucks. Like, yeah, it fully sucks. You're sitting at home playing Xbox. I think what actually did help me was Ollie snapped his tib fib.
Yeah.
He was actually staying here, like 2 days after I got out of surgery. He'd already said he was gonna come, and I was like, oh bro, I need to see someone, like for sure. Come ride.
Yeah.
And then did that, and then so then I had an Xbox friend. Me and Ollie were grinding out the Xbox.
Yeah.
But no, it's just the small building blocks, I think.
When you were a junior, going back to that, like when you were just dominating, how did your ego handle that?
I don't know. I think again, my dad has instilled into me, like whenever I'd say something a bit out of pocket, he'd be like, "Don't say that." He's always been like aware of the.
Keeps you in check.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
I do
My dad is
realise
pretty
that.
strict. Like not in strict terms of like.
Don't do this.
Don't like,
do
oh, you
this.
should be getting straight A's or you should be doing this. It's always like, how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
I'm being a tool.
Mm.
He'll tell me I'm a tool. Like the first thing that comes to mind right now is, you know,
You fully
you know,
cranked.
before the finish line, you do like that, like and then push your bike out across the line. It was just a natural instinct kicked in me, and I just pedaled, pushed across the line, and I was so pissed off because I'd won the heat. I don't know what heat it was or whatever, but I'd won that heat, and I like was so pissed off. No one could even see me, but I chucked a bit of a tantrum and just ghosted my bike into the fence, and I was so pissed off. The first thing my dad came over and said was, "Get your shit, we're going." And when he said that, it wasn't like get your shit, we're going because you lost. It was like, I'm in trouble. Get your shit, we're going. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And it was like, he didn't give a shit about that I pedaled and I was DQ'd or whatever. Didn't even mention it. He was like, why did you ghost ride your bike? It looked so shit. You were being a twat. You're chucking a tantrum.
Yeah.
So you just learn, like,
Just instilled how to carry yourself
Yeah.
and look and be
yeah.
respectful.
Well, and it's gonna get you nowhere realistically.
Because no one
like-
likes to see the guy who comes all across the line and is like, that was crap.
Yeah, and it
shaking
is
their
so
head.
hard not to show those emotions because we're putting our body, everything on the line. We've trained so hard for this, gathered so much resources and funding to get to these races. And
Yeah.
you're putting it all on the line for like a 3-minute period, and
Yeah,
if you don't deliver what you want, it sucks.
It is hard, yeah.
And there's so much emotion there, so it is hard, but you have to carry yourself. And it's okay to like every now and then be gutted and visibly gutted.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like throwing your bike and being a tan.
You can be mad, but you don't got to throw
Yeah.
a tantrum.
Yeah.
You can be
Exactly.
upset in yourself, but you ain't got to throw a tantrum.
Yeah, you can be mad, but
Exactly.
don't like show it, like that. Yeah.
So I think that's what's helped me with my ego. And I think it sounds weird to say, but I kind of, growing up, I had like 2 groups of friends. I had at school, my friends at school, and then my riding,
Friends.
like who I'd see at the races.
yeah.
And all the guys I saw at the races were good. Or even the ones that weren't good, we all hung out. We're young, no one cares.
Like
And
me,
then-
bro. When I met you, dude, and you were
Yeah.
in your domination phase, and I was like a no one, we just became mates.
Yeah.
Like-
Me and Froffer, real quick, I want to say how me and Froffer met. I was selling one of my old Norco Orums,
Yeah.
the first Norco Orum, and Frother was the lucky buyer.
Who bought it?
Yeah, and you were known your contact for like the first year of knowing you was Son of Dave, because I didn't remember your name. I didn't remember your name, but I knew Dave's name. So your number was saved for so long as Son of Dave.
Son of Dave.
And I think
Even
when
your dad called me Son of Dave.
I was about to say, even your first time staying at my place, I think my parents were calling you Son of Dave.
Yeah, Son of Dave.
Yeah, it's gold.
I do remember that. No, but I just want to say I remember you being so nice and kind and humble.
Thanks.
Like, even as a junior, like, you don't expect a junior who's winning everything to just be so down to earth.
Thanks. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think I'll dedicate that to my parents. My parents are
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
not like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I do remember buying your bike and being stoked. And then you took me for a lap and I was full buzzing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. First time riding a
was
downhill
G'd up.
bike.
That was sick.
That was real sick.
Yeah.
You just lived together, right, for a bit.
Yeah, we
Froth
lived together. Yeah, we lived together.
Froth loves to say we lived together. But
I really just stayed here for like 2 months.
it was like a month, but then we hit the road
For another
a
month.
few weeks.
Yeah.
Went racing together. No, that was sick. I wouldn't put it that way because we weren't like in a house together. Like we didn't move out together or
Yeah,
anything.
true.
For the first
But
week,
Froth
I slept
stayed
on
here
it.
for
Yeah.
ages.
Yeah.
That was sick. I had no work at the time, and we fully
Grinded.
grinded. Like that's the hardest.
Let's
training.
talk about it, bro. Because I've never told anyone that story really outside of like close friend circle of how hard we actually worked.
Yeah. It was like a month straight riding, I would say, every day. Like, fuck, how do you even describe that? We probably had 3 days off riding in the month.
Yeah.
It wasn't
And it
even
was
a day a
driving
week.
to-
It wasn't a day off a week. It
No.
was like grinding. And we're talking about threadbow laps, bulk laps, like in the tens of laps every day.
Rain, hail, or shine.
Then we'd go to the gym, threadbow gym after that.
And we would
Grind.
also do sprints in the morning.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We'd get up early.
Go to the
That's
running track, do bike sprints, like big gear sprints and rolling starts.
good. Yep.
Insane.
And then off the threadbow. And you know what was even was like insane? His grandma was here and she'd cook for us.
She was cooking the meanest
So we would
meat.
wake up at 6 a.m, whatever, cruise down to the running track to do our sprints. We'd come home a couple hours after.
Fred the Red.
Yeah,
Fred the Red. That's what she called us.
Yeah,
Bro.
and Jackson's grandma would have breakfast cooked for us.
Yeah, I remember you called me. You're like, bro, Jackson's grandma is so good. And you were just like, bro, we train, bro. We sprinting, doing training in the morning, and then, bro, I get home, meanest spread of breakfast, and I'm like, bro, it's so good.
Then we'd go riding, and then we would come back, and there'd be food on the table.
And also we would take the leftovers for lunch.
For
So it was
lunch.
just dialed. No, like we weren't at the time. I don't know why we weren't working or how we managed that. But
I just quit my job to go all in on riding.
true. But how did I not work? I don't know. Maybe I was just being a bum that month or something.
Yeah.
But but we went. Then we went racing as well
Then we went racing. Yeah.
up north.
What did all that training, bro? I feel like for me, when we did all that training in an absolute grind month, that it actually did more for my head than it did
I was about to
physically.
Say that. I was about to say that
Did you reckon that's the
for
same?
sure. When all you think about is riding. When
Yeah.
all you're doing is riding.
Like, I think my confidence just got so much more sky high because I felt like I was doing more than everyone else. Like, in the training sense.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, it was probably a delusion where I was like, oh, no one is training as hard as us. Like, no one's training as hard as us. Like, we're doing intervals, pedaling up to the top of threadbow.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's what these pros do all
day.
the time.
Exactly. That's their
And
job.
I'd love to do that. And I think I have a pretty, like, the best balance I can really have.
What is your balance at the moment?
It's like I'm training with Fit for Racing, and they're like pretty long sessions, I'd say. So I do like 3 days a week on that. I normally go for one pedal a week. And then I have Saturday, Sunday
Just
dedicated to downhill. But this is all around work, so my recovery is so bad, and I know that, but I just kind of can't do anything else.
Yeah.
I'm
that's,
working 5 days a week.
That's the thing. When you almost can't prioritize recovery when you have to make money to actually fund a
Yeah.
season. It's like you can't actually train to the best of your ability, like what we did that month, because reality is we got to save up to go.
Yeah. And I think it's hard. It's hard. One thing I've noticed recently is like no, I have no plan at all in stopping racing or anything. I still feel like if there's a will, there's a way, and I really it's all I want to do. But I've realized now. I used to kind of bag out people that would stop when they had so much talent or so much skill. We all know a lot of people that are still cool mates. Like, don't get me wrong, they're still all good people, but that just have moved away from riding or moved away from racing. But like now I can see why. It's like I'm lucky enough to live here with my parents. Like, yes, I pay a weekly little bit of money, but like I don't know how you could afford it if you're not living at home, and if you're really like not into it, like if you're not really fully locked in right now, and I can see how this happens, like you're out of contract and it's like, far out, how am I going to make ends meet? And it just doesn't happen. I can now see that. When I was younger, I was like, why does this guy stop? Why did this guy stop? He's killing it. He was winning this last year. He was there, but it's like so much more than that.
You almost get a grasp of like how hard it is.
I feel like it's hard to look at this sport from the outside because it's like you're either basically a full bum or you're getting paid.
As a full pro.
Yeah.
Like proper
There's like
salary.
nowhere in between, really. There is. I guess there is, but it's like
very few
it's
and far
so
between.
hard. Yeah. Whereas there's like every other sport seems to have like a system, and like you go through the ranks, you slowly like kind of.
Yeah, you have other leagues. Like if you had like NBA, but you have like NBL, like EuroLeague, whatever.
Yeah. Whereas for us, it's like you're either working your ass off and paying every cent to race, and then the next year you can be fully comfortable off racing. Not that races get paid heaps, but like just to do it. Like I would be so stoked on just a season covered every year. You know, I'm happy to work 2 days a week here just to get me by. Like that's my
a bit extra cash.
Yeah, and it's hard to see that from the outside, I guess, because like even us, we look like don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining with what I've got. I've had so much support over the years. I'm so grateful for everyone that has helped me, because otherwise it would be practically impossible. But I'm just saying, it's like so much more goes on. Like I've been working 3 years straight. 3 years straight. Pink Bike was the only year I didn't work at home to afford a season.
Because it was all covered.
Yeah.
And so how long haven't you been racing for Pink Bike for?
I only raced for them for 1 year. And then the last 2 years I've been with Team High Country, a local team.
Yeah. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I'm now free agent.
Yeah.
I'm by myself as of right now.
Okay, well, what happened? From your perspective, because it's your perspective, you can share. What happened?
I don't know. It's just I can explain it because people might not know, but the World Cup, or the UCI World Series, as it's now called, has changed organisations and that are running it. It's no longer Red Bull. It's Warner Brothers in ties with ESO.
Yeah.
And with that, a lot of changes happened in terms of the race structure from day to day to like how you even qualify. Everything. So much has changed. They've came in and just changed it all.
Yeah.
Which, cool, sweet. But it's made it harder, like a lot harder. Like, for example, I was talking to Kai, I think it was 47 registered teams last year. And this year, well, the year coming, 2025, is, they've already said it's only going to be 20. So top 15 from last year and 5 wild cards. And that's like, for a small team like us, it is hard to get that. So I think their plan, I haven't spoke to them too much about it, but I think their plan is more
junior development.
Yeah, probably more junior program. But I'm happy.
Do you think you're the most disciplined you can be right now?
That's a good question. I think if I said yes, then I would be lying to myself.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean I'm not working super hard right now.
For sure.
But I'm just, I don't know, I'm in a different stage of my life at the moment. like I was contemplating moving out this summer and stuff, and the funding kind of stopped me from that. I'm living with my girlfriend for the first time. Like,
Yeah.
it's new, it's challenging, it's cool, and I'm learning so much in terms of like the business. I don't want to say business side because it's not like I'm raking in heaps of cash, but just trying to figure out how I can really do this as a job, and like learning how to write a proposal, learning like and approaching people that I've met over the last 3 years on the World Cup circuit. And yeah, unfortunately, which is where I am now, I don't have a ride for next year.
Yeah.
And I've tried hard. I've been on the case for months, but
How does that affect your mental? Like going from being on a team to not being on one now. Like, how does that affect you?
well, I'm actually happy. I'm really happy. I feel I have the choice of like the creativity's now in my court. No one's looking over me.
No one's telling you what to do
Yeah.
or how to do it.
Exactly, and I can pull together what I want to do. It's just hard. Like, it's hard with the industry at the moment. Like, I've approached so many people and they just can't help me. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like,
Industry is in a bad spot
Yeah.
though.
so I think hopefully I will get stuff sorted. It'd be sick to be able to race everything I want to do, and like I said, I'm in this because I want to do this. I'm not in this to make heaps of cash.
Yeah.
And if I was, then
You're
I'm in the wrong sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, just trying to figure out how I can sustainably do this. That's the main thing. Like the last Pink Bike was cool, but the last 2 years, it's been hard to financially keep it all together. And so I'm just trying to be smarter and learn how to structure things and do that. So it's definitely a massive learning curve. But
What drives you?
I don't know. I think I just want to be the best in the world.
Where's that
I
come
want to
from,
be a
though?
star.
Just always as a kid, or what do you think influences that?
I think I was thinking about this the other day because, like, there's times where, like, I can always train. I never have a problem with training. Training's not a problem.
Yeah.
But especially after the injuries, I had a problem of, like, just not going fast enough, not risking enough, not putting it on the line enough. And I found that there was, like a drive problem there. Just because I'm, like, the scare factor was bigger than the drive factor. But I managed to, like, the standout results I've had has been when I've really manifested this mindset or been in this insane headspace where it's like all I want and it flows. That's the sickest thing. Once you get one good result on the board, it's like the rest of the season's easy. Like 2023 for me, I was like struggling, getting closer to. I missed 3 races, like qualifying by like under 2 seconds. 3 races run. I'm like, what is going on? That's nothing. And then one race, it just clicked. I came 34th. I'd never qualified for an Elite World Cup. 34th. I was like 0.6 off a final in my first ever time qualifying. I'm like, what the fuck? Then the next race, boom, Snowshoe. I qualied. I think I qualied in the 40s, but then I came 23rd in semi, and then boom, in a World Cup final. My second ever time qualifying in Elite.
Wow.
What do you mean by you manifested a mindset that got you?
I don't know. That's been the thing. I still haven't figued out how to harness it every single time when I want to turn it on.
But
still.
What is it your harness like?
But I was getting to that. It's just a headspace of like right before a run, that headspace where there is not another thing you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Where it's so hard to describe because it's like a feeling. It's like a headspace and a feeling of like, just risking it. Not in a stupid way. It's not like, I'm going to fully risk my life and not break down this whole section. It's not like that. It's like just really like taking it in. It's like and it happens like months before. I've already been doing my routines in my head about Cannonball. That's this thing that I'm building so much hype in my head for. I haven't even thought about this race next week in Toowoomba. But like I want to win Cannonball. I've wanted it for years, and I really do believe I have the
Speed.
facilities. Like last year I was 4 seconds off, which is a lot, but it's a freaking 5-minute track. So I'm like, I don't know. I really
There's 4 seconds to be
believe it.
made up in 5
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a it's like a manifestation thing, like sitting there, shutting your eyes, and really like it's almost dreaming it into action. And I do that. I've built a warm up routine and stuff that helps me get to that place.
What's that warm up routine?
It sounds weird, but okay. So like race day, boom, and quali day. I do a bit of manifestation on practice days too, or even on track walk, just to think it out. But it's more so.
When you say manifestation, do you mean you just visualize the track?
Sorry, that's probably a better word. Visualizing the track, and that's where I struggled, because like you see on TV growing up, like the videos of them warming up and they're always shutting their eyes, like going through the track, and I've done that here and there for years, but I never really knew what it meant. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going through the track, whatever. But like learning now that taking in every emotion, what the crowd's like when you come across the line, like I'm fully thinking that I'm coming across the line in first by 5 seconds, what the crowd says, what the commentator says. But I'm just thinking this. No one else is like, I'm not saying this to anyone. It's like a thing that I'm going through my head, going through my head. And that feels insane when you pull it off. Like the only time I've ever gone in green at a World Cup was that Snowshoe semi-final.
Do you think you hit flow state?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, because you don't even remember your run for like 5 minutes after, and then it all starts to come back to you, and you're like that's out of body. Is that an out of body experience? Like,
Well,
what is that?
so,
What is
yeah.
that experience?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last 5 minutes that I've trained my whole life for. I can't even remember it. What is that?
Yeah.
And I've prepared so much for like years for this one moment, and I can't even remember it for 5 minutes. What is that?
Yeah, it's so funny how the mind works, hey?
Yeah, it like goes into this this place. It's like locked. Like
And you're not even,
In control
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
but you are. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the place where I think damage is done. And I think as a kid,
Damage is done there.
damage is done to everyone, all the competition.
All right.
Damage is done. Damage is done.
Right.
But
I meant like an injury. I was like, it sounds like a good thing.
no, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah,
So
everyone's getting obliterated.
it's a
When I'm in that headspace, dude.
Yeah.
Damage, bro.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think as a kid, I would find that every week, just because, like when you're young, you're like, I don't know,
Carefree.
you're a bit ignorant, or ignorant. You're
Naive.
just- yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else you're thinking about because you're just a kid. It's like, oh, I'm at the top of this track and I'm going to go as fast as I can down it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know about you, but when you were younger, bro, you get so sketchy because you just send, absolutely send it.
Yeah. Do you remember that time at Bright?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm about to say?
You crashing your brains out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the step down
Yeah.
at under 15.
Shoe came off.
Yeah.
All sorts.
Bro, I was still in Asics joggers then, man.
Bright was so intimidating to go to as a kid. Even like,
I did it 1 year on the giant trance, and that's when I had that crash.
yeah.
I wasn't scared. I had no intimidation.
Really?
Not one bit of fear going down that track.
I used to go to Bright. Like they used to run nationals there. It was like 3 years in a row they had national champs there.
Yeah.
And they had races there every year growing up, sometimes twice a year, whatever. But I would go there every single time and be scared to drop in every single lap
Really?
of Bright.
See, my first time at Bright, I was under 15s. I think I was just clueless. It was my only race I'd ever done before that was Cannonball,
Yeah.
and I was just completely clueless. I had no fear. My mindset was, the fast boys do this line, I'm going to do that because that's the fastest.
That's you, bro. I'll
Yeah.
leave that one for you.
That's why I did the step down, bro, because I watched
Yeah.
someone do it. I'm like, well, that's faster than going around it. So I just sent it.
But you got to be like that, I guess, when you start. You've got to just send it.
Yeah. I think
And
that's why I
still-
progressed pretty quick, to be honest, because I had a late
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But you're so receptive when you're a kid, like that. You just learn, pick up things so quick.
Mm.
People will tell you something and you're just like, take it fully into the
Do you find you do that now?
largest degree.
Like you're still a bit of a sponge to what people
I
say?
really try. Like, I think that's what I pride myself on. Anyway, that's like I don't know, probably one of my best features would be like and it's like it's all motivated by me. Like, for example, I write notes on every single race.
Just being teachable.
Yeah, and sometimes it'll take me 3 races to go, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Or, oh, this guy said this and I didn't believe him for 3 races or whatever. And then, oh, shit, I'm the idiot. But I think just being able to say to someone, like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you were right. Or,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, like, I was wrong.
Yeah, I think that speaks to your
Yeah.
humbleness for sure.
I think I've always been like that. And, like, and again, I think it comes from my parents. Like, the whole objective of, like, from my family and what we, like, kind of the plan we hatched when I signed with Pink Bike was, like, even before I went over, it was all, who cares about your results? And this was taught to me from other people, but who cares about your results? Just take in everything. Even if it means nothing, just learn everything you can.
Yeah.
And it was sick. I was around, like, obviously Ben Cathro, who's the line guy, the extraordinary
He's
smart
the man to do a track walk
in
with.
terms with breaking down a track. He's insane. Sees it all in a way that like sometimes it'll be like 2 lines and it looks like, oh, you're here or here, and he'll figure out a way that's like better, but it's like in between, or I don't know. He understands how to break down a track so well. And then like Northern Peter Duke, my mechanic that year, insane as well. Like been on the circuit for 10 odd years, mechanic for heaps of people, Ed Masters, heaps of people. I can't even remember.
What was one of the biggest things they taught you,
Gaetan
like,
Vige
for
as
the
well.
track walking and line choice? What was some of the biggest things Cathro taught that you took away from it?
It's a hard thing to pinpoint one, because it just the sick thing about being in that environment, which I think I've struggled with the last 2 years, is having someone that tells you these things. I've been figuring it out all myself by writing it down and obviously having a bad result or having a good result and trying to pinpoint why.
Yeah.
Because there's so many reasons. You could not have enough rest the night before, or be stressed about something random and it ruin the day for you. But I think just like in that program and being surrounded by these people that do their thing on a daily basis, or like have their way of operating, you just subconsciously lock into that. Yeah. Whereas like now it's like I have my way of doing things, which is my default, locked into that. But I'm trying to pick myself out of that, not in a bad way, but like, what can I change by taking myself out of what I do all the time? And the annoying thing about that is like, you're kind of hardwired to this preset thing that you've learnt over whatever experiences you've had.
Yeah.
And then you're now trying to pull yourself out of that, and you'll forget one time and go back to the stupid thing. Like you can learn something. It's even more frustrating than not knowing it in the first place. You can learn something and then screw it up again and go, oh shit, I already learnt that.
Yeah.
Whereas I find when you're with a mentor, or you're always living with these guys that have that routine, that maybe they're doing stuff wrong too, but whatever, but you're learning through that, and it just,
You almost fall into that.
You fall into it and you don't even think the way you were thinking. So I don't know, it'd be sick. Like, it'd be sick to have mentors like that around you. I think it's very important. Unfortunately, where I am, like, I'm so lucky to live here with all the riding and stuff, but there's no one that really lives here that races, or at least at this level. Whereas there's like heaps of people come down, so I try to pick brains when they're down. But
for sure,
I'm kind of here on my
Here
10 toes down, dude.
10 toes deep in the dust of thread, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's why I'm a bit excited to be a privateer too, because I know so many people now over the years of being overseas. Like, for example, stayed with Adam Brayton, which I only met this year, just for Canada. And the amount of stuff I learnt just from that week in Canada was sick.
What did you learn?
Oh, just like more stuff about like how to be a privateer and like because that, like I went to Canada this year and last year by myself, just as like operating as a privateer. And it's a new challenge. Like I had no spares, no nothing. So I made ends meet. And again, this year, thank you huge to the Atherton crew for the little bits. Well, they helped a heap, hey. So
Yeah.
that saved me a bit. But yeah, just figuring out that like I can do it on my own. Like if I need to, I'm not a bike mechanic. Don't get me wrong. Like even today, I cut my hand open, freaking trying to push my pistons back. Parking ticket deletion. But yeah, just like realizing he's full. All he does is ride bikes.
Yeah.
He has his YouTube thing going. I've seen how he does it, and obviously that's been a grind for him and stuff. But just in 1 week, the things I picked up from him and his attitude towards it, and yeah, it's sick. So I think just surrounding yourself with that type of people, and it doesn't have to be all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like even sometimes it will reassure you that you're doing the right thing. For example, in Enduro, I was having some problems setting up my fork. I don't know, can't remember the exact problem now. It's written down somewhere, but I just remember I conveniently just got on the lift with Loic Bruni, the king.
Very conveniently.
Yeah. And I just asked him like just a simple question about my fork setup, and he was so open, and I had done the right thing. Like obviously their technology is way crazier than me, and he has engineers around him all the time, so he probably doesn't do much of the decision making in that part, but he knows his way around it. So it's just a simple question. I can't even remember what it was, but it just reassured me that I had done the right thing.
Yeah.
And then it was fine.
Yeah.
So
do you seem to get in your head a lot when you're racing? Like with things like that, like little particular things? Or
I would say I don't care. I was like, I've always been a set and forget kind of guy. Like, set my bike up, just get used to it. For me, the hard thing is trying to puzzle. I've never been a puzzler, and now I'm trying to do it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But once you get particular about something, then yes, I would say I'm very particular. Like for example, today thinking about how wide my bars are.
Yeah, this has made it so late.
Yeah,
but you got to do it. It's got to be done.
Yes, and especially like once you do learn, oh wait, there is a better way to doing this, and then you get taken away from the better way. Then it's like, oh okay, let me find the better way again.
Yeah. What about, has there been times in your life where the things you did weren't the best for your racing or performance?
Yeah, probably. I had a girlfriend years ago, like at the end of high school.
Yeah.
And that kind of took me away from it. And I didn't realize until we weren't together, and I was like, wait, I've been like cutting back on my riding and my training. I don't know. It's just rose-colored glasses. I was just so in love with this girl that I just, yeah. But at the time, I'm so glad I'm out of that now. But
for sure.
But like when you have your first girlfriend at school, it's like, or your first proper one at least, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This is sick. And then you're not training as much, or you're not riding as much.
Yeah. You're just hanging out.
And you don't think it's a problem until you realise
it is.
Yeah. But that wasn't too bad. 2022, like the pink bike year, like, and maybe a bit before it, just around turning 18 and stuff, I was partying a lot.
Yeah.
What about that?
And I don't know, it's just distracting. Like,
well, why did you start partying? Just hanging out with friends, sort of?
Yeah.
Didn't even think anything
I always
of
have.
it?
I've always been such a social person, and
for sure.
I've like always hung out. I love to hang out with people.
Yeah.
So I also do love being by myself and just grinding. But I'll hang out with people like once a week at least. I'll go and hang out with all my mates. So
yeah,
I've always been like that. And yeah, through school, always parties, and like I'm so glad I had riding, because just like when mates were trying drugs or doing stuff, which does happen. And I'm in a small town. I have one set of friends. It's not like it's either I have no friends or I have friends.
Yeah,
you know.
So
but don't get me wrong. I love my mates, and they've been sick to me, and I still get along with most of my mates from school. But yeah, like trying drugs or just going to festivals. I've never been to a festival in my life, actually. One little fun fact. But yeah, just trying drugs and stuff like that. I'm so glad I've had riding to
Steer your way.
steer me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was partying. I think 22. I was partying a lot. Like never dumb like before a race or anything. But like I went to every World Cup after party and whatnot. And
Yeah. Do you think it's because you're injured? Did you almost like maybe not lose focus, but you were like almost had to distract yourself?
yeah, maybe it was a distraction when I think about it in hindsight. Yeah, maybe.
Because you partied a lot when you were injured. Hey. Do you
Yeah.
think that was a coping thing?
Overseas a bit, yeah.
You think?
Yeah, probably. And just social. I'm such a social person, and like
Yeah.
being overseas away from at least my mates here.
Yeah.
I found new mates over there, and a lot of them were always going out and stuff. But I'm happy now. Like the last 2 years, I have a girlfriend now, and she
How much has she helped you?
just helped me in so much, way too much. Her and her family are just
Yeah.
That's good.
insane.
What
like,
has she
way
done
too
for you? Why? How does she help you?
I
so
don't know.
much?
She keeps me so much more organized. She's not afraid to tell me when I'm being a fuckwit
Yeah.
or anything.
Has there been a time she's told you to pull your head in?
Not really, but it's just about like, oh, why were you late? Or, oh, why is the van not cleaned out? Or, why is this not done? And I'm just like, oh yeah.
Oops.
But it's not like she's telling me to.
Yeah.
She's not like my mum, but it's just cool. Like, I don't go out. I don't party anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know.
Doesn't it make
But I
you-
just have no urge to either. It's
Yeah.
not like she's telling me. It's not like some psycho girlfriend that's telling. She lets me do what I want, everything I want. Like it's
Yeah.
not like that.
Mm.
But I just, yeah, she's just so organized and yeah, everything. It's
How
great.
is it living with a girlfriend now? Has it made you more
Interesting.
productive or?
Yeah, well, her, yes, but if you have the wrong girlfriend, it would destroy you, absolutely destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, and I've learnt that. I never have lived with a girl, but like, yeah, especially trying to do something like this, it can really zap all your time.
Mm.
But no, she's sick. Like, she tells me, why have you not been at the gym this week? Like, the other day, she was telling me, why have you not been at the gym? I'm like, bro, I'm, like, as you can probably hear in my voice, I've been sick over Chrissy. And she's like, when are you going back to the gym? You've done nothing. I'm like, fuck, yeah, sorry.
That's good.
I'm like, sorry. Nah, it's sick.
How did you guys meet?
Actually, first World Cup 2023, Lenzerheide after party. Met her. But I don't know, it was different. Like, not that I was like getting with chicks all the time or anything, but like I was like I said, I was partying those around when I turned 18 and stuff. But she was just like, I don't know, I just knew there was something different about her than anyone I'd ever met in my whole life.
Tell the story, bro.
Yeah,
Tell the story.
Okay. Yeah, we'll tell a funny story. I don't. I think I told Mum this actually. Yeah, it's free to air this story. Yeah. So we met her and stuff, whatnot, out at the after party. Just hung out, really, nothing crazy. Little kiss here and there, dancing, normal fun after party after the World Cup, catching up with all the mates because it was the first World Cup of the year.
Yeah.
And then she lived like super far away, so I couldn't go back with her or anything. And we were staying like the next village down, which is a decent little hike. And
It
we
is
were like, no.
Mish.
And she was like, oh, you can sleep in my car with me. And I'm like, oh, cheering, sweet. Get there, it's a mini. And I'm like, bit small, but we can do. And then her friend was already asleep in there. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sleeping in a mini with you and your friend. Like, I can't. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, checked when the next bus is coming. Buses are done for the night. It's like, sun's going to come up soon. I'm like, oh no.
Big night, dude.
And then there was these big concrete pipes. And they were looking at me and I'm like, shit,
That's
we're
tonight.
sleeping in a concrete pipe. She gave me a little mattress and I slept in the concrete pipe.
Oh my.
And she must have seen something in me because she stayed with me after that. So
Oh my gosh, dude.
yeah.
What was the morning like?
Oh, it was all good. She dropped me back to the place where I was staying and then we just kept in touch. But yeah, I just knew. Like, for example, then I'd organise, like, we had a World Cup break and I kind of wanted to go do something because I was just in Morzine for the whole time, which is sick. Don't get me wrong, Morzine's sick, but when you've been there for months, it's kind of cool. You're in Europe. Sweet, let's go have a look somewhere else. And she invited me to her place in Switzerland and I was like, it's not far drive, I'll just go. And I'm like halfway through driving there and I had this big freak out moment. I'm like, because it all felt right. It all just felt right. And then I was in the car and I'm like, just had to think about it. I'm like, oh my God, like, is she going to be good? Or like, is she going to be nice? Like all this stuff, like, do I even know her? Is the language barrier going to be, and I just started freaking out a bit. But then it was insane. Like first time meeting her parents and all that. The second time I met her parents, met everything, boom. And it was just, it just was insane from there on. So
yeah. And
it's
just
been
kicked
sick.
off.
How good.
It's been sick. So I hope it
What's she do?
cherishes. At the moment she's here in Australia, just traveling a bit, and she's got a little job up around here.
Nice.
But she starts uni next year is the plan.
No.
Teaching.
Sick.
She
I
was
want to go back to Snowshoe, because your lead up to Snowshoe wasn't ideal, in the sense of you didn't even know if you're going to America. You're buying cheap flights.
Yeah.
Like, tell the story, bro.
So,
because you know what's funny that I just realized? You had your best result at that race, and I had my best result at that race, and we both had crazy ways of getting to that race.
I would say your way of getting to that race was a lot crazier than mine. But yeah, the team was meant to be going to Snowshoe and Canada in 2023.
Why did they not end up going? Why did they only stay in Europe? Why did they not end up going to America?
I think just money justifications, to be fair.
Financial,
and no one was doing overly well.
Yeah.
And I got told this just before Leger, like at Leger, before practice day. I don't know if that might have been what just kicked my brain into gear or something. I don't know, but then I was like, shit. I had like no time. I had like a week to figure out everything, how to get there and whatnot. And in the process of that, I talked with Thibaut Lally, my old teammate from Pink Bike, and he was now managing Pink Bike like the second year. And dude, again, massive thanks to them and Brian Park and that at Pink Bike. But they were like, just come with us. Like, just pay. Obviously, I had to pay for food and everything.
Yeah.
But they already had a place booked. And you know what it's like trying to get accommodation at a freaking World Cup. Like
almost impossible.
2 weeks before it. It's like literally impossible.
Yeah, you can't.
I was too young to hire a car and stuff, so it was going to be insane. They were like, come with us, sweet. Yeah, they helped me out immensely. And because Thibaut, unfortunately, hurt his shoulder at Snowshoe, then Pete just mechanicked for me for the next 2 races. I was cheering. It was like sick. But yeah, it was like a big doubt of like, I was fully expecting to go, and then all of a sudden I wasn't going, and then it was like, shit, how do I get there? I had to borrow money from mum and I did actually that year. Yeah, I had to borrow money from mum and dad just to fly home and stuff. So again, thanks to my parents, thanks to Pink Bike. But yeah, it all got sorted, and I just turned it on that race. I don't know what it was. I don't know if have you seen the live feed of my finals run?
Yeah, you hear
just
the
like
screaming.
But even just like my riding, it was just like, you can see I am not giving a shit. I'm just full throttle, like, and that's the mindset we were just talking about before. I want to be able to find that day in, day out. Like when I want it, when I can turn it on. It's insane.
What is next for you?
How do you overcome those setbacks? How do you overcome setbacks?
You just jumped over him, but
Sorry. I just wanted to ask that. Like you said before about you fully thought you were going to Snowshoe, then you weren't. Like that's a setback.
Yeah.
Even with all your injuries, like,
I don't know.
How did you keep moving
I've had this thing in my head that I'm just going to be the best rider, or even like more than that. Just I'm going to be something. And like, I don't even have to think about it because it's just subconscious now.
It's that confidence.
I just am going to be something.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy to say it out loud because it's probably the first time I've said it out loud.
Yeah. And the thing is,
but it's a constant thought I have with myself, is that I just know I'm going to be something.
Yeah.
And it's like this crazy, like I think about it all the time, that I really truly believe that if I wanted to be a boxer or if I wanted to be a rugby player, or I just feel like I could just drop riding and then figure it out and do it. Which sounds insane because that's probably really disrespectful to like Terence Crawford, who's been grown up around boxing, or I don't know, someone else.
Yeah.
You know, that's
No, I get you.
so it's probably insanity, but I think it's just a subconscious thing.
Do you think you almost have to be delusional to make it? In a sense of,
Yeah, for sure.
before you make it, you have to believe you're him.
For sure. I listen to a lot of fighting stuff and watch a lot of fighting.
We fight all the
UFC?
time.
Not so much UFC, more boxing, but
Sure.
like there's a Conor McGregor quote actually. Well, it's a Vincent Van Gogh quote that I heard Conor McGregor recite once, and it's what is it? It's like he's talking about how when his family, no, it's like when you dedicate your life
To this game.
to the art and what is it? Sorry, frick. It's like Vincent Van Gogh dedicated his life to his art and lost his mind in the process. And then Connor's saying
how he lost his
how
mind in the
like when his family has a car for every day of the week and he can buy his mum a mansion and stuff, that's when it will pay, and that's when he's glad he lost his mind. So yes, sorry it took me so long to figure out that quote, but
Bro, it's so good.
I think you have to, but it's hard because there's also times like where you can be trying so hard and it feels like nothing's happening, and there's other times where you're like obviously training hard and whatnot, but you're just relaxed and it just is all coming easy.
Like
So I think it's what works for you. The perfect example I think of all the time is like Remy Meyer-Smith and Luke Meyer-Smith. That's what I always think of. I think just do what works for you. And maybe it'll take you years to figure that out, but do what works for you. Because there's so many ways, especially in our sport, Josh, and I'm sure it's the same in your industry. Like if there was one way to do it, everyone would be doing that exact one way. And for us, there's like, for example, Jackson Goldstone killing it, and he weighs like 60 kilos, tiny little dude. And then there's Benoit Coulange, probably weighs like 90 kilos, 6'6", massive lanky thing.
Yeah.
But they just work with their skills, set their bike up how they like to do it, what's comfortable with them. For example, Dakota Norton, he's known for he's having his handlebars so high, like insanely high.
Yeah.
But no one else is doing that, and they're like on the same second. It's what works for you, and I'm sure the same goes for training. I'm sure there's heaps of guys doing stuff that other guys aren't doing, and vice versa. So I think obviously it has to be educated,
For sure.
but do what works for you. That's kind of what I'm trying to play into. It's like that's why I think I'm happy with being solo at this current moment. I don't know if I'll sort something out or not, but
it's good to be where you're at. You know?
I can do what I want.
Yeah.
And I can work, like I'm still going to work hard. It's not like, oh, now sick, I don't have a boss, I'm going to go, I know, sit on the beach for 5 weeks and drink beer. No, I'm like still working hard, but it's like I can do it how I want to do it, and I can set things up how I want to set it up. So that's cool.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me? You saying all that time we had in the Morzine gym. Do you remember that?
Yeah. The one this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one this year. When we were in the gym at night and I was like off it. I'd just broken my finger.
Yeah.
You remember what you said to me?
Who?
You.
Who was it? Oh, what I said to you?
Yeah.
I thought you said what she said to you.
No, what you said to me in the
Sorry.
gym.
No, what did I say?
I remember it to this day. You were like, you told me I was almost too determined to come back. Do you remember that? Do you remember you saying that?
Because you were rushing it.
Yeah.
I think. It's like, it's such a hard balance, dude, and no one's going to do it correctly. But it's got to be what works for you. Like, oh yeah, going back to the Remy and Luke thing, like I love both of them. Sick, both dudes are good, but they're so different.
Yeah.
If you know them, both so different. Remy just gets back from Europe, cruises 3 months, probably doesn't even ride his bike, goes surfing, goes to Indonesia, does Remy, cruises. Luke is like training so hard, strict to the book all the time, measuring his meals, measuring his like outputs, measuring everything to the perfect degree, like to the point where we were in Schladming this year, and Remy, I can't remember what we're doing, but we're just hanging out, having dinner together, me and some of the Aussie boys.
Yeah.
And Luke was still at their place. Remy was getting cold, so we went back to their place just to get some clothes for Remy. And Luke answers the door, and he's like, "Remy, I figured out why my shock feels weird. Like, the new shock has X amount of clicks, and the old one had this many clicks of high speed." And Remy's like, "Luke, I don't want to hear about your fucking high speed. It's 9 o'clock at night. Go to sleep or something, or do something else." And it was just so funny. Remy's like, "Bro, I don't give a crap about your high speed. It's like 2 clicks."
Yeah.
But at the same time, if that's what works for Luke and that's what keeps him dialed in, and then sick.
Well, then fair enough. Where also, like, when Remy, his training program coming up to Leger was watch surf edits the whole time.
Yeah, but he was sick and stuff too, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
But he called it his slumber.
Yeah.
And then he came out, literally, I kid you not, rode his bike once for like 2 weeks right before a World Cup, arguably the biggest World Cup of the year. Leger comes out, and what'd he come? 14th with a crash.
Yeah.
Or something, and he was up. He was like, would have been in the running for a podium.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I woke my slumber. I woke my slumber."
Yeah.
But it's like, again, it's like, I think you do have to be, like what we were saying earlier, happy to learn and like really take it in. But that learning, I guess, can be very personal if it's like what works for you.
I think it takes a lot of confidence, though, to be like, that does work for me. Because there's so many people doing so many different things. Yeah. It's like, and if you really aren't as experienced as some of those other guys, you're like, well, what does actually work for me?
Yeah.
Like, should I try and replicate someone? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this was one of the biggest things I learned through Pink Bike. Maybe the back end of Pink Bike and start of Team Hike, like my first in 2020, back of 2022, start of 2023 was like, when you first get to the World Cup, you're like so much like overstimulated, and I'm sure it's the same for you when you probably like go somewhere where there's a lot of artists you like really recognize and look up to. It's like so much stimulation. You're like, oh shit, I have to perform now. I have to show them how good I am, or I have to do what they're doing and do it better. And you know,
of course.
And it's so much stimulation when you're like, for us going around the pits, and you're like, oh my god, there's Luke Bruni just casually
I remember
cleaning his helmet or something. You know,
remember when my first time ever walking through the pits in Lensheide was with you.
You're frothing. Anyway, but what I was getting to is like, I specifically remember it in Val d'Isole. I was getting so in my head in 2023 and like really down, like I just can't put a run together, and I'm watching everyone and they're all doing, one's doing this line, one's doing that line, one's doing that and that and that, and they're all making it look good. And I'm just like, what do I choose if they're all good, you know? And it opened this thing in my brain that like the line choice doesn't really matter in that way as much. If you're really freaking out about it, it's not worth like analyzing it. It's worth like fully doing a run, getting up to speed on that same line. And if you're having problems with somewhere, then you change. We're all educated enough, like when you get to that level at least, that you know what's the fast line from track walk or whatnot, and things will change. Like things will change. A big hole will develop there, and maybe we want to move to the side of it or whatever. Like things do change, and it's good to talk to people about lines and really like get a grip of the track, so you're not just, I'm on the slow line, I just didn't even know that one was there. You do have to be proactive and keep your eye out and whatnot. But I think what I learnt was more not to watch everyone else and like puzzle over everyone else. Yeah. Because it could be the worst line, so difficult, and someone's going to pull it off and make it look sick. Or it could be main line and someone could make it look super hard. Yeah. You know? It's like always, it's so hard to judge. So I think just taking that with like a backseat view of like, what do I want to do here, or am I struggling in this section? And if you're not struggling, keep doing what you're doing if it feels good, you know. So it just goes back to like do what works for you. But it's more of a focus thing, I would say. A confidence thing, I would say. Yeah. It's like hard to be confident when you feel like you're struggling and you're watching people doing something really, really well.
Do you think your visualization helps with your confidence?
For sure. Because I heard this I can't remember. You might have even been talking about it, but it was like how much visualization helps. Like, for example, like throwing a free throw. When you visualize it, you're never going to visualize yourself missing it. You know. So
Yeah,
you're
I told you
it
about that.
perfectly, and that's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's like if you're visualizing a run, unless you're super scared or something, but you can really just repeat it, and do it better. You know. It's like there's no consequence to a visualization. You're not going to crash and break your arm visualizing it. So it's like you're going to think of how to do that, execute that perfectly.
Going back to that free throw comment, I think that's sometimes something that I don't visualize me missing it, but sometimes I think about me missing it. And I think that in turn, like sometimes, cause sometimes I play basketball, so and when I'm like legit shoot, it's actually
basketball nerd.
No, legit. When it comes to free throws, like I remember I always used to be so good at them, but then like to be fair, I haven't really played it.
Have you heard the study he's referencing? That he's talking to?
No.
I don't know the study.
I'll tell you because I think I remember telling you, but maybe not in entirety. So the study was they was trying to study how that you should add visualization into your training as well, and so they got basketballers, and they got 3 groups, and the first group for 2 weeks, all they did was shoot free throws. That's it. 2 weeks. No visualization, just practice shooting free throws.
Yeah.
And then they had the second group was they'd shoot free throws, but for half an hour at the end of the practice, then they would visualize themselves shooting free throws and then come in the next day, shoot, and then visualize. And then the next group they had didn't touch a basketball for 2 weeks, and they shoot, and only in their head did they shoot free throws. That was it. They just to visualize themselves hitting free throws. And then at the end, they all got together and did a test to what group got the more free throws. And it was the visualization group that hadn't touched the ball in 2 weeks because they visualized themselves doing it perfectly every single time they'd done it. But this was the kicker, right? The kicker was they had to, before in their life, hit a free throw perfectly because they can replicate that feeling in their brain. They could replicate the feeling of the release, the sound of it going straight through the net without hitting the ring. Like you pinpoint the spot on the net where it hits, where it goes in perfectly. They'd have to have done it before to have the feeling to do it.
Yeah, I think that like that's something because, like I was saying, like I haven't played basketball much this year, but the couple times that I have, like compared to how much I always used to be a good free throw shooter, except this season I'm just like sucked. But I think it's because then I start to get in my own head about it, and I'm like, well, actually, like I always think about, what if I miss it? And so I like picture me missing it right before, and I kind of just put in my head. And I think that, like we talk about visualization with mountain biking a lot, but like even in music, right? I don't really visualize it that much. I've tried, but I think I need to like really, get in and.
But I think it's something you should practice. I don't think it's just something. I'm an expert visualizer because I've done it once. Like that's what I was saying at the start. I can't just turn it on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be at the top of a race, and it's really just not happening.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's something you really need to practice. And like, and just like it's a constant thing that you should practice, I believe.
Yeah, like you like visualizing in music. What would it even look like? It would look like.
Well, the feeling of the concert, like what song of them,
walking out
what
to the
songs are playing.
stage.
Or feelings. It can be even feelings.
Yeah.
Like say you're not in a bad place right now. I think I listened to one of your podcasts once when you were talking about how it's hard to find creativity for a song. Say you went through a bad time in your life and you've written heaps of songs about that, and then now you're in a good place and you're struggling to write songs about that. You can literally take yourself back there by envisioning it in your head, or take yourself to a childhood memory and write stuff through that. And I think your experience will be so much more true and so much more in detail if you practice going there. Not just think, okay, one time I want to write a song about this. Okay, cool topic, boom. It's like, no, really sit down over months and weeks and really take yourself back to that place. I think that's where it would be used.
Yeah, I think I do that. Like definitely when I'm writing songs, I really think back, and especially I do it a lot when I'm actually in the studio. I'm recording a song. Like I remember when I was recording my album, I went back because my album that I released is all about my ex-girlfriend, and I was
Yeah.
like, when I was recording it, I was like, let me go back to that relation, like not go back to her, but like go back to, and I had all these pictures saved, so I'd like look at them and then try and like bring up them emotions, and it's like this part of it's like freaking, it's like not fun to do that, but
No.
but then I think that where I struggle with it is like in actual visualizing what my career or what like the live stuff is like. I think that's different. I think I can do it well in the studio and when I'm writing songs, I think that's fine for me. But I think when like it's live, that's different.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely something I need to practice.
But then I guess then that's when you can also like use the visualization is like on the lead up to a big gig where you're nervous and stuff. It's like, I guess you can do it through practice, like, but you can also envision playing that song or setting up how you want it set up or what the crowd's going to do to react. You can really take yourself there in advance to a big gig, and then you can execute it better, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
There's so many ways of using
doing it for sure. Do you find when you like opened for Shannon Knoll that you'd envisioned how it would go beforehand?
That one I actually really tried to. That one I remember I tried to like fully vision what it would be like. But that's the thing is like it's hard because I don't know what venues are going to look like. Like I feel like with you guys, you know what the track looks like.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's like I'm walking out to a stage that I've played before, but I'm not playing. Like in my head, I'm thinking about a stage like there's
like the biggest one you've done
the biggest
before,
one that I've done before. I'm like, that's what I'm envisioning because that's what I can kind of, or if I know what an arena, like wasn't an arena show, but like I know what a big, like what looks like, but I've never played there before. So I don't, it's hard in that sense. But I think that, when I did that one, I was definitely trying to like, I guess, capture the emotion of each song and really visualize what each song was about when I was playing it. So not so much like the actual atmosphere of the venue, but the atmosphere that I could create within the song.
Yeah.
More that.
For sure. But it's crazy. I've never seen studies apart from the one you just mentioned.
Yeah.
About this.
Visualization.
And it's like a thing that there's no rules to it. There's no way of like learning it.
It's
nothing I've ever been taught. It's something I've fully learnt myself, so it's hard.
Yeah. That's why I'd love to talk to like a mental coach or someone who's like, he's almost studies it. I think would be interesting to get their take on that. Tell your gig story to Isaac, because I haven't heard it.
To Jack.
Do you want to come to a gig?
Any gigs, bro.
Do you want to come to a gig tonight?
It's 3
Where are
hours
you playing? Oh, 3 hours
more,
away.
It's in Tumut.
So.
Oh, damn.
Well, 2 hours.
We could see Job. We could drag Job out.
Yeah.
You want to come to a gig?
I could, but are we riding tomorrow?
We could come back and ride tomorrow, and then I'll just go at lunchtime back home.
We can do that.
We could do that. We'll come to your gig. We'll get Job. Is he in Tumut at the
He
moment?
does live in Tumut.
Yeah.
Easy.
We'll come out to your gig.
Hopefully it's a rowdy crowd. Like I played at the same place last night, and mate, this lady, I was like, bro, I don't know what it is. Everyone calls me the MILF magnet at gigs. Anyway, and,
my lord.
and
dude.
nah, legit. I was like, I wasn't even near any of my music gear. So like usually if it's those middle-aged like white ladies that they always like, cause I play sometimes Ed Sheeran, like all like the stuff that the mums love, bro. And I was like, I wasn't even anywhere near my music gear, but I was walking out to go back to my car, and these 4 like mums walk in, and I was like, and then one of them looks at me, and I just like don't look at her. I just you just know every time. And this lady's like, "Oh, he's hot," and just saying to her friends, I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Anyway, and then I get back in. I get back in to go be able to play whatever, and these ladies are sitting right out front of where I'm playing. I'm like, "Oh, great," and I could already tell they're like kind of drunk. I'm like, I need to like make sure that like this could get out of hand real quick. Like they once people got grog in them, bro, they just get so rowdy. Anyway,
Just play with them.
yeah, well I usually do, but I was like no, because like people try like it's wild. I'll get to it. So then basically, one of these like there was 2 of these ladies. 2 of them didn't really care. There was 2 of them that were just like a bit like I could see that they were just trying to get me or something like that, whatever. And I was like, I actually need to make it clear because they will 100% try to like hug me or like kiss me or something, like whatever. I don't know. And so I like, it was in the first set. I just like, oh, I wrote this song for my girlfriend, like, and I love her a lot, like making sure I can like, I've got that. And So I was like, yeah, I played the song, whatever. And then one of the ladies was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like you wrote that for his girlfriend, all this. And then so basically I, like it was like towards the end of the night, one of the ladies was left, and she was just standing there. I could tell she's pretty drunk at this point. She would come up to me like between like every second song and talk to me. Anyway, I'm playing and I see it like in the corner of my eye. I see it like kind of bowling over to me. I'm like, and I look and I see the look in her eyes. I'm like, oh no, I know what's about to happen here. I know what's about to happen here. And this is just like, she just like goes to hug me and then like leans in to kiss me. And I'm like, I just shove her off me. I'm like, no, what are you doing? I got a girlfriend. And she's like, oh no, I wasn't planning on doing that. Like she full like pursed her lips and everything, bro. I was like, no. And she was like I wasn't doing that. I was just coming to show a bit of love, like just say you're good. I'm like, oh yeah. And then the security came over and they had to like stay next to me the rest of the night because this lady was just like off it, bro. She was just like. And all night she was like saying, she's like, I'm taking you home tonight. All night. And I'm like, bro, you need to chill out. Like, and I kept saying to her, like, I have a girlfriend, like, and she was like, I don't care what anyone says, I'm taking you home tonight. I'm like, bro, wow. And she was like, old. She was like 55 probably. Yeah, I know. Mate, it was wild. But hopefully there was other wild stories last night, but I don't want to like say any of them on camera.
Is that one of the wildest gigs you played?
No, the wildest gigs I played was there, but it was like a couple weeks before.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I want to save that story for another podcast for when we have Rob on.
Right.
Yeah, I want to save it for then.
Tumid is a wild place.
Yeah, man.
In the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been there once.
Same actually, I think.
It was to pick up my van because Job's mum took it home after I lacerated my kidney. Do you remember that?
I remember when you did that, but I didn't know that you got taken there. Your van got taken. Why did it get taken there? Why didn't it just come here?
I don't know. It was in the Nuggets parking lot for like ages.
Why didn't it just come to my place?
I don't know why it didn't come here.
Is it close? Tumid's probably closer to
Cowra.
Cowra.
That's why I would have. Yeah. Because I came back here.
Yeah.
And died in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I reckon that's kind of
true.
Yeah. What's like? Actually, I want to ask, what's next for you?
What's next for me? At this stage, I don't know. Really don't know. I'm working hard to get some support to go overseas. I'm working hard so I have some funding.
Yeah.
Like in terms of actually working a job here. But yeah, I want to do well in Australia and kind of my plan is, do well in Australia and domestically. I'm going to go to New Zealand for a race, try and get some points up, and also just try and get some good racing under my belt before Europe or America. I don't really know what I'm racing. There's that Monster Cup in America that looks pretty good, but it looks a bit hard to race. So it'll be either that or World Cups or both.
Yeah.
Ideally with some support. But yeah, that's the cool thing. It's unknown. Change is good. I find change is, it's where you learn.
Is there a part of you that like likes the not knowing in a sense of
sure.
like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be sick? Because like all your World Cup years have been planned out. You're like, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now it's like, there's a factor in it that you don't know what's going to happen.
It's cool, but it's scary.
Yeah.
Like it's scary in the fact like, what if just literally no brand can help me out, and I can't afford to go or can't afford to do all the races I want to do. Like that's what I'm scared of. It's not like I don't know. I know the dream will keep going. It just won't stop. I just know that.
Yeah.
Like there's not anything that could stop it, but it's just like there's so much stuff I want to do. Like I want to do a film project. I want to like elevate my YouTube and my socials and do more lifestyle stuff as well. And I think I can, but at the end of the day, I don't want to just do it for free. Like I want to be able to do it so that I can race. So I can race and afford to race.
Yeah.
Like there's so many ways of, and that goes back to what I'm learning recently. It's just how to market myself in that way and how to.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, I'm open to all suggestions. So if this podcast reaches someone in a nice place, I'm open to everything. But yeah, I don't really know what's next. But
Fair enough.
it's
Working
exciting.
it out. Yeah.
First time being a free man in like 3 years.
Yeah. I'm just keen to see what happens, bro, with you.
Thanks.
I really am.
I'm keen too. I want to do more stuff like to do with just riding. I've been so deep in this racing stuff, which I love. That's my main goal, still my main goal. But I'd love to film a, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 minute video part
Like
this
what
summer.
we did with Murray, just longer.
Yeah, but like more in depth. Take more time to do it.
Mm.
Like actually critique the riding. I know even chuck some BMX in there. I love riding my BMX.
Yeah,
Do some sick stuff at the Skato or somewhere.
that would be mad.
But yeah, it's just I want to do it properly if I do it. I don't want to just like get someone to film it and then just chuck it up. I want to like really try and get a brand or 2 or 3 or however many want to get involved and do a proper premiere, and so that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Do something real tedious and make it look sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then hopefully use whatever proceeds come from that, and if I can get someone to bloody sponsor that little movie, and then also try and race my bike, because that's the goal. I wanna win some big races.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Sick, bro.
Yeah,
I'm keen. I miss filming with you. I want to film another edit with you
that was fun.
because we just
Got
elevated
loose.
off each other.
Yeah, it got very loose. We were sending way hard.
Yeah, I don't know. You could probably relate to this, but when you get around people that are like just elevating you, it just
Just
elevates you.
Yeah, hard.
And even if we're both like naturally here,
Mm.
and we just like both push each other up to here,
Like, there's this jump in Kuma that's not
tiny
even
jump.
tiny
Like, we just
jump.
figured out how to get bulk speed into it and like go like another 10 meters down.
into this corner, and Jackson went far, and I was in my head. I was like, I just need to go a little bit further than Jackson. It was just like what you say all the time. We just have this friendly rivalry,
Yeah.
but it's not even
It's
a
not to
rivalry.
compete each other. It's
No.
just like, he did that. Now I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you have
It's like
that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want him to show me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, same goes.
Yeah.
So it's sick.
That's good.
But I think,
And we went too far. We definitely went too far on that
and like,
one.
I wasn't even thinking about that jump actually. That was
What were you
gnarly, but it
thinking?
was safe. I was thinking when I almost like died off that little cliff thing into the bushes. Do you remember
Oh, dude,
that?
yeah.
It's like a little drop, but I don't know what I screwed up. I can't remember, but
You just
it
went
was
off to
death.
the right.
yeah, into like bushes, the head high bushes. But no, it's all fun. No harm, no foul.
Shout out to Murray, dude.
Yeah, Murray filmed a sick little shred it there.
Yeah, that was insane. That was fun. We should do that again. Because I feel like what that did for me mentally was like, I can actually ride so much better than what I thought I could. Because I was just,
Yeah, and I love those days where like you're stacking clips, and even if some videos don't make it in the part, you just have like
Clips.
cool posts.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's that one of like us in a train.
yeah,
That's like just a cool video. I was like, oh,
sick.
nice video.
Yeah.
Put a nice little
Nice
jazz beat over it.
Yeah.
Slow mo.
Nice little touch.
No, it's sick. And the other thing I was thinking actually, like, I think one of the main reasons I'm excited just to do my own thing is like I want to have my own image. I have so many ideas that I haven't figured out how to execute, but I literally have like pages of ideas of what I want to.
Like
Share
what?
some, bro.
Yeah.
Like what? Okay, some YouTube ideas. I don't want to let them out.
Just because someone.
Just because I don't know how I'm gonna execute them yet.
Yeah.
But I have
say
some
the
cool
ideas.
ideas.
Just say the ideas. Get them out.
No, because you don't
No, I
want
don't
someone
want
to
to.
steal it.
Yeah, I don't. There's one.
Tell me after.
So I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
But
Ideas coming.
yes. But also just how to market myself and some more branding opportunities. Like
Yeah.
again, like I want to get some brands on board, but I have sick ideas. I think.
I'll send you that email.
Oh yeah. Cheers, bro.
I'll do that after this.
Yeah. Safe. But yeah, just like a career number and just more ways to market myself. I think
Yeah, good.
the big 33 is coming.
Explain 33. So we'll explain your number now because we now have to pick numbers.
So I just want to be ahead of the curve. There's a new thing at the World Cups where the World Cup winners can choose a career number and they get that number plate and that's them for their career.
Yeah.
But like you see Tani and I know Rory Kirk, some other guys have already got a number that they rock all the time. So I just want to be ahead of the curve, and I've always thought about having a number, but it's kind of a motocross thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JC 33.
What's the inspiration between 33?
No, it's a cool number. I like it. Well, I like 7. 7's my number, but I think it doesn't fit what I don't know. You know when there's no reason, there's nothing I can put into words why it just doesn't work. But like looking at it doesn't work. But
Yeah.
33 to me, it's like
You can rock a 33.
that's me. I don't know. That is just me.
JC 33 has a
Yeah,
ring to
and
it,
it rings.
yeah.
It rolls off the tongue.
It does. Yeah.
I don't know. That's just what it is. So hopefully all these ideas come into fruition. But I'm working hard on it. So
Good.
we will see where we end up.
Sick.
We'll have to do another one when we're after
After
the
the
blow.
blow.
Yeah.
And we can recollect and go, why was he wanting to choose 33? What a shit number. Or why do you even want to do that? You know. So no, but I think, yeah, I was gonna say something that was gonna answer your next question. So
What's
your final
The closing
question.
question.
avid listener, bro. He knows
wouldn't
what's
say
coming
it.
up.
Oh yeah, I'll take that. But no, I was just gonna expand on how important it is just to.
Well,
Yeah, at least let us ask it, G.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned throughout your entire life?
I would say, just to not stop learning.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I was thinking about this just like yesterday when I was like, because I'm whippersnipping like all day. You have so much time to think.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about, I'm coming on the podcast. Like I speak better when I don't have like a set of questions in front of me going.
Yeah.
Like when I don't prepare, I'm better.
Yeah.
So I knew I didn't want to think about it too much, but one of the things that I did think about was there's a closing question, and then I couldn't remember what it was, and then like a little while later I remembered. But yeah, I couldn't think of something that was my biggest lesson, and then it led me into this thing like all the lessons matter. Like what's the biggest one? What's the smallest one? They all matter. Like you're always learning. So I think if you can be someone that is so open to learning and just always trying to better yourself or better people around you or better your situation by learning. And like I said before, it's like it never stops. No matter what industry you're in, no matter where you're at, there's always something to be learned.
Yeah.
And you can screw it up so many times. It's like basic stuff that you can still screw up here and there and go, oh, there we go, we need to learn that again.
Yeah.
But I think when you stop learning or stop being open to learning is when it's over.
Screw it up.
Yeah. When
You become stagnant.
yes.
That's good.
Bro.
And I think that also ties into with like being too comfortable. And that's I think
Yeah.
why I'm excited for change as well. It's like when you're so comfortable you're not learning. So yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's been good to be on.
Stoked. We finally made it happen.
Finally made it happen. We finally
Got to
talked.
record the first 15 minutes.
It's all right. I'm
How'd you
sure
like
we
it
say-
though?
No, it was good. I think we talked about some good stuff. Got into some not deep. It wasn't deep, like sad, but it was like,
Quality.
yeah, quality topics. There was no messing around.
Yeah, no.
Wasn't much.
Not here to screw
It's right.
spiders.
It's right. This one, this one's before the blow up. So this is where it's all nitty gritty,
Yeah.
underdog, grinding.
That's it.
And then the next one will be about the flowers and the eating the cherries.
You bring the World Cup
all the
trophy,
fruit.
in, bro.
Yeah, we'll have.
We'll sit our matching ones on the coffee
Yeah,
table.
sounds good to me.
Alright, bro.
Cheers, man.
Like and subscribe.
Well, just do what you want, cuz. Just do what you want.
Do what you want. Nah, I appreciate it. Thanks for
Cheers,
coming on.
man.
Cheers.
Sweet.
Done.
Easy.